Worlds Part 2 is possibly the biggest update No Man's Sky has seen for years, and while the trailer makes this update seem impressive, there is so much more that they've hidden away in the 6,000 words of patch notes. I've trawled through them all, so without further ado, here are all of the big changes that you may not have known about. The massive new gas giants were a big focus, but you'll only find them in the all-new purple class star systems, which means you'll need the new Atlantid drive fitted to your starship to get to any of them. One of the reasons for the new class was actually to be able to rework the planets and biomes without regenerating existing planets, so all your current constructions should be safe. The update also includes a huge ocean overhaul, letting you dive down kilometers deep, and the Nautilon submersible has new functionality to make this much easier. The environments look incredible, but they've quietly introduced WaterWorlds, which are rare planets completely dominated by oceans, which contain the deepest water and huge waves. To encourage exploration, large resource deposits can now be found underwater too. We also got prawns, if anyone's particularly interested in that, but on another note, you can now put a flamethrower on any of your Exocraft, which is more my sort of thing. Big landscape changes were shown off in the trailer, mainly enhancing valleys and mountains, but with this has come big biome updates too. While they were at it, Hello Games decided to ramp up their jungles with thicker vegetation, and their icy planet biome diversity has also been upgraded. I think this biome was perhaps slightly behind the others, so it's good to see. We can also get lakes, seas and oceans on purple system moons, and the floating islands that were introduced in Worlds Part 1 can now be found in more biome types. On top of these changes, you can now find Relic Worlds, which feature the crumbling ruins of ancient civilizations. You can excavate their architectural blueprints, which then allows you to build the ruins yourself from the new polished stone material. On the graphics side, the focus has mainly been lighting, which has really improved the underwater exploration. Shadows and lighting brightness in inside areas and caves has also been reworked though, and we have other effects like rain droplets rippling water and waves making objects bob up and down. Stars, clouds and other planets are also now reflected in large bodies of water. If you play on PS5 like myself, you'll be pleased to know that the game now supports variable refresh rate up to 120Hz, and loading times have also been reduced for everyone thanks to a new compression technique. Improved data caching has even made transitions like going from atmosphere to space even smoother than they already were. I can think of at least one game that needs to take some notes. From a quality of life point of view, there are some big changes here that they didn't really talk about. One of the biggest is Starship Cold Storage, a new feature which basically just lets you own more ships. Providing you have a capital ship, you'll be able to store an additional 18 starships in a storage hangar, and the ships will even retain their technology loadout, so they're really quick to redeploy. Also, with the new weapon rack base part, you can now do the same for multitools. Again, an additional 18 multitools can be stored long term. Alongside the gas giants, they've also added Titanic planets, which can be found only in those new purple class systems. They're absolutely huge and can warp the gravity of their many moons. Speaking of those gas giants, they experience extreme weather conditions, which make them only feasible to explore as a more experienced player. There are rewards to reap for doing this though, namely unique and valuable deposits and even atmospheric gases to harvest. There's a broader weather rework for normal planets too, which includes enhanced electromagnetic events, enhanced tornadoes and even gravity inversion zones. Other local environmental hazards have also been added to add to the survival challenge, including clouds of toxic spores to avoid, small-scale radioactive fallout and geothermal geysers. Possibly my favourite small tweak is the new re-entry effects, which look awesome in first person. They've even reworked the animation of the control stick and throttle so they respond accurately to your inputs. Other small changes include anomaly fishing missions and the starship automatically landing at the most convenient pad when you go to a space station. Smaller reworks to burnt worlds are also included, and the same can be said for mutated biomes found on radioactive planets. These previously more barren worlds are now more varied and include more life. A new favourites tab on teleporters is a nice addition for quality of life, letting you more quickly find the destinations you travel to frequently. There's also new buttons for sorting your inventory based on value, item type or name, and even something as small as east and west markers now appearing on the compass is a welcome change. New crafting trees also now show players the full map of construction steps required to get to the technologies that they want to build, which will certainly save a lot of trips to the No Man's Sky wiki. Perhaps the most unexpected feature in a Worlds update would be a cooking rework, but in true Hello Games style, they've only gone and done it. On board the Anomaly, you'll now find a food terminal where you can donate large amounts of edible items in return for nanites and esteem with the local species. The recipe system has also been overhauled, and just like with the technologies, there's now a crafting tree view to more clearly show the required steps. One cooking feature that's perhaps more of a quality of life feature is that nutrient processor contents can now be accessed at any time as long as you're nearby it. The nutrient processor can cleverly be used to expand your inventory storage, so this only makes that easier now. And if you're interested in learning more workarounds like this, head to my tips and tricks video linked in the description. There's also an all-new nutrient ingester technology, which basically just lets you stack up all your edible items in your exosuit and then have them automatically consumed when you need them or the boosts run out, rather than having to open your inventory each time. Moving on to Exocraft, first-person handling and visibility has been improved, and like with the starships, steering wheel and throttle controls now respond accurately to your inputs. I mentioned the Nautilon submarine rework earlier, and this actually includes specific dive and surface controls, increased speed and maneuverability, and an all-new dredging laser for that underwater excavation. There's also a new boost feature which requires no additional technology to utilise. Alongside this, the swimming controls and their responsiveness now feels a lot better, which is a much appreciated update given that we're all going to spend a lot more time underwater now. They've pretty much just built their own version of Subnautica at this point. Finally, you may not be aware that they've even added a new game mode. Abandoned mode lets you play the game without any alien life, which is quite a drastic change to the gameplay feel. Note though that you can't toggle it on and off in any of your current saves. You'll have to start a new one to try it out, and also note that there's no tutorial if you're playing in this mode. So that's all of the significant and less significant features and changes that Hello Games have quietly made. For me, the WaterWorlds, Starship storage and 120Hz PS5 support are the ones I think I'll enjoy the most, but comment down below which changes you're most looking forward to playing with. If you've enjoyed this video, then a like or even a sub would be absolutely amazing. But that's all, so thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.